So
Mhm.
the framework that I've been going by to get on calls with people is say, I ask them what's their budget.
Mhm.
And once I ask them what's their budget, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, what's the price that you normally charge?" So I'll instantly say, "All right, so I normally would charge, and I make a outrageous number. Most of my clients are paying me, and I haven't had anybody pay me yet, but I tell them most of my clients are paying me this amount of money, something that I don't expect them to pay because I just want to try to get an understanding.
Uh-huh.
I was told a long time ago, don't sell $100 product to $1,000 client.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
so I give them a
Mosey.
trading number, and then I tell them like, all right, so we also offer like this and this and this and this and this and this and all these things like that. But the one thing I want to do, I want to make sure it's going to work for you and it's going to work for me. So I have employees that I have to pay. You have employees you have to pay. You have this that you have to pay for. So the one thing I want to do is make sure that you're not having to choose between do I pay James or do I pay the light bill. So I want to find something that's going to be fair and going to work for the both of us. So if you had to think of a number, what would that number be? And then I'll let them say whatever it's going to be. So
Interesting.
I got one person that said 2,500 a month and another one that said like 500. So it's like a range right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but they've already agreed to pay for it. They're just like, all right, put together a demo so I can see it and we make any tweaks. If somebody wants something a little bit less, then I'll say, okay, we might be able to take out this feature, that feature, because I just resell the whole Go High Level system. Oh, we might just take out the social media management piece or something like that, and we can make it work with your budget. So whatever the thing is. So that's pretty much how I've been doing it.
Gotcha. Okay, and then real quick, another question on that is: so you're offering kind of like almost an all-inclusive type marketing package, and then you kind of like add or subtract based on their budget. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. No, that's cool. I think that was really good info for everybody to hear as well. Um, Real quick, is there follow-up questions? I think I saw somebody referencing James in the chat. Let me just make sure I get everybody's questions answered with that. Somebody asked, "Are you going into Facebook? It's going into Facebook ads or Facebook groups. Are you saying, what's your question, Blake and Alexis?
You went really fast on the Claude scanning for you. I couldn't tell if it was going into Facebook ads or if it was going to Facebook groups itself.
When you're scraping leads, how are you getting them out of Facebook?
Oh, I mean, you can scrape it all. I mean, if y'all open to it, I gladly do a training for everybody that's in here. That's fine because I run an AI business outside of like this. It's just added stuff that I was trying to do.
Okay, yeah, we
But
might have to talk about that and see if maybe it'll show some sauce.
yeah, I'm gonna say so. If y'all want me to do something like I got a whole
I
community in my
was
shop where I'm teaching this stuff too. So I gladly come here and just give y'all the game. It's fine. Y'all giving me game. I gladly give some back.
Appreciate that. Okay, cool. It
Yeah.
looks like people are interested in that. So we'll talk offline on that and then figure that something like that out. Okay, let me answer your questions. What questions you got?
So I was trying to figure out. So since I just started going through information, I'm just really trying to figure out where do I navigate to find information. I need like certain scripts because I'm just going off of. I'm just gonna pick up the phone. I'm just gonna randomly call and just I'm just gonna start talking. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to make sure I know where the scripts are if we're doing cold calls as well as what is everybody else kind of pricing at because I've been going off of the same thing. Just get whatever they're gonna, what I'm saying, give, however we got to do it. So I'm just trying to get more structure around the things of what I'm doing so I can also train my team on this as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna send a couple links in the chat here. The first biggest ones, if you're doing cold calls, the only place for the cold calling script is in the client acquisition secrets. I'm gonna drop the link in there now. It should take you straight to that video. Let me know if you have access to that. You should.
Okay. Working on it. And yes.
Okay, that's the cold call script. That's specifically for cold calling to set up a like call to demo the product afterwards. Below that, there's if you want to offer like a free trial. But I mean, if you're comfortable asking for money, I'd go straight for asking for money versus doing the free trial if you already got the sales part down, which it sounds like you do. The other part, as far as I figure out pricing through using the client conversion script, which I'm going to send you another link for that one. These probably be the only two links I would recommend if you're doing cold calls and getting people on demos. So that second link there, our client conversion script, we're essentially kind of exposing the hole in their business. Now we usually attack from AI first solutions. So like we find people that are already running ads and we're not trying to take over their marketing, do too much too fast. I really want to come in there and be the person that helps them get more from their marketing first, and then we'll upsell them to our other services. Two benefits of that: it's very easy to get somebody to add this into in addition to what they're doing on the premise that we're going to help them be more efficient, make more money from what they're currently doing. Then also we create a relationship where I'm only doing one thing, and then when I find more holes in their business, I offer to solve those in exchange for more money, and I can creep the lifetime value of that client up, if that makes sense. The way we figure out pricing is essentially based on that script. We're asking, what are they doing for marketing? How many leads are they getting? How many converting? What is the thing that they're trying to sell once people come in? They're not like the little trial thing or the little taste, but like what's that full package or full service that they're trying to sell? And what's that average ticket of that service that they're trying to sell? From there, we typically will price our setup fee at 1 times whatever that value is. So for instance, if I'm working with let's just say weight loss clinic, which is very common for us, they might sell $3,000 weight loss packages, and we'll charge our setup fee for $3,000. So then I can easily say, hey, James, we set this up you're going to love the cost of this. It's only $3,000 to set it up, which means if we help you sell 1 more this month, it covers the cost of that. And then we charge $697 a month just for the AI to continue running or doing its thing. So that way I can say, and each month it's only $697, which means if we just help you close 1 more package each month, you're essentially, 4 or 5xing what you're paying us. And again, that's just for AI. And specifically, I like going from the conversational AI following up with leads. And then of course, when we add in like ads or different things, we'll of course creep that retainer up, if that makes sense. But that's kind of how I price. My formula for that is 1 times CIV, which CIV is just customer initial value. Like what's the initial value of a customer when they do business with you and buy your most popular package? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then the monthly, I usually do CIV divided by 4 or 5. So like if they're $3,000 on a package, I'll divide that by 4 or 5. And that's my monthly just for AI. And then of course I'll add on top of that when we start adding more services.
All right, divided by 4.
I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I think I did a whole training on that specifically. It might have been a live call though. Let me see if I can find that one real quick. Customer initial value, agency roadmap. I'll find that one and I'll send it to you afterwards. But there's a whole training.
Like Alexis are saying, it's in roadmap week 1.
Oh, perfect. Is that the live call or is that in the start here section?
Live call.
Roadmap. Okay, thank you, Blake and Alexis. So I'll grab that link for you as well. But that will go over specifically how I charge. It's the same thing I just told you, but there's like slides and like the equation to show you on screen what it looks like. There you go.
Cool, perfect. Okay, let me grab that too. I think that was really all the main stuff. I gotta just get more calls in, and then as I kind of experience more, I have more questions. I don't like to ask questions who I've done something.
Yeah.
I don't have to be like, oh, hypothetically, like, no, I just want to.
I appreciate that. And just to sum it all up for everybody too, like when I call like cold calls, which again, personally, Charles does more of our cold calls than I do. I do like Looms or I'll do ads, but I'm always push people to get on a demo where I'll show them the demo on demand, which is in that Client Closers Toolkit. I'll go through the client conversion scripts with literally everybody. I don't care if they came from networking event, cold call, ads, wherever. That way I can expose the hole in their business, see how much each customer is worth, how much money is being left on the table. And then I get to present that demo and say, oh, you're going to love how much this costs. And it's the same conversation. Like it's just the cost of one of your clients as a setup, which I don't say like that. I just say it's $3,000, which means if we only get you 1, this is covered. And if we get you 1 per month, you're 5xing what you're paying us. Like it's such an easy conversation to have. And they're like, oh, okay. But that's how I would treat it. But the cold calls, if you're already good at cold calling, push to get to the demo, client conversion scripts, demo on demand, dude, you're gonna crush.
So can I ask 2 more quick things?
Yeah, please.
All right. So when it comes to the website, is there a thing in there where you have like a snapshot that gives us like a thing for the fun? Because I end up just vibe coding a website, but if you already got something that's proven that's working for people, and I can just like drag and drop and replace some things in GHL to have like a voice agent site so I can run ads. And then are y'all like running the ads yourself, or are you using, because there's plenty of ways to use AI to run ads now too, different softwares, different platforms, or just going directly through there to have it go into your stuff. So I'm curious on how are y'all running the ads, and is there like a snapshot for the website or funnel that you're using?
Yes, and yes. So one more link, and not to bombard you with links here in the chat, but grab that link. That's our client getting ads. Now that specifically, I was selling conversational AI, but you could probably adapt that pretty easily to sell voice. You watch that video. I literally walk you through like my ads manager, our cost per result, the graphics, literally everything, the funnel, all that stuff. And then there's an Easter egg in there. Like if you want the snapshot, it doesn't cost you anything, but there's a way to get it in there. Right. But that'll show you everything, and that's a successful campaign. So you could adapt that very easily for voice. I just prefer selling conversational AI.
Okay. And then the last thing that I was going to say is, if you want me to come here and teach some of the stuff that I know about like AI, that's fine. Where should I message you for that?
Message me on the school platform. Just DM me on there, and then I'll probably connect you with Charles, so we could coordinate that a little better. But let's talk first, and then I'll connect you with Charles.
Sure, makes sense. All right, cool.
Oh yeah, and appreciate having you here.
Oh yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's see here. Excuse me. All right, I got Dimitri, then I got Lisa, then Carlene, then Audrey, then Dale, then Oz. But let's go with Dimitri. Excuse me.
Hi, Jeff.
Howdy, howdy.
Question is, do we, in the JHL website templates, do we have anything that where we can create a website with like user logins, like where each individual person logs in, kind of have their own, entry there?
We don't have anything like that in the community area, but tell me what you would be using that for, so that way I can maybe point you in the right direction.
Somebody is kind of asking me if I can make a website for them, but the initial idea was that they have basically a login for every user where they want to, and that website is not like e-commerce or anything. It's more of for the lack of a better word, they want to create like a coaching program, but
Okay.
they want to have maybe tiers in there. So they kind of want to have a username for every person for the subscription tier, maybe distribute different information to different people.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, this being mostly GHL people, you guys might hate my answer. We don't have anything like that, to be honest. I think the best platform to use for something like that would be School, because I mean it's already built, and it's like there's a $9 plan. If they want to do the tiers, I think it's like $99 per month. Now I feel like that could be built in GHL. I just feel like the infrastructure already on School, the way it's built, would probably be where I would recommend like pushing that person to. Now that doesn't help you if you're trying to like sell them on this, but you could take on a consulting portion for this to help them like build and structure that. I just think that would shortcut a lot of the work, just using a software like that. It could be built in GHL, but we don't have anything like that, just because we simply prefer using School for that. And I know that might not be the answer you're looking for, though.
Yeah, it's a couple of ladies. They're trying to sell like high-end, like it's not high-end, expensive membership basically. So they feel like I mentioned School to them, and they feel like that's gonna be too I don't know, too kind of cheaply made thing in from their perspective. So they kind of looking to build a website for this.
Mhm.
So just wondering if I can get away with JHL with that.
You probably could, to be honest. I don't want to give you any wrong information because I've never done anything like that in GHL. Charles may have a little more knowledge on that, but I would say that's very outside of the scope of like anything we've ever done for clients. One thing I'd recommend to you though, how high end are we talking with that? Because like I know people in School like that charge $30,000 for a year. I mean, there's people that charge $10,000 a month. Like, I would almost come back to, like, if it were me, I would come back to them from the point of like, I'm the expert. Like, let's not like recreate the wheel. Like, this is what I would say if I were you. I'd say like, look, honestly, like, with what you're wanting to do, I would kind of lay out how it could work in there. But I mean, it's built for, I mean, you can bill up to, honestly, I think it's $100,000 a month if you wanted to in there now. But I would say, hey, we could go reinvent the wheel, or, we can use something that's been proven. And there's people that are doing $500,000, $600,000 a month in School. And I know that for a fact because I can see the leaderboards. But I mean, it's built for high end, low end, et cetera. So not to beat a dead horse, but I would almost come back to him as like, look, I'd love to build that for you, but honestly, I think with what we would have to build, there's platforms out there, specifically School, that could do exactly what you're looking to do, easier, and that user experience is going to be a lot easier, cheaper, and you could hit the ground running and start selling it faster. And then if the time comes that it does explode like they expect, then at that point maybe look at building a whole new software, a new website around it. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't see a reason to not use School for that.
I actually agree with you, and that's exactly my train of thought. Like, especially when you're starting up, why bury a lot of money into development of the platform where you just basically test the concept, but then they kind of have a point where, in a sense, they want to. Their idea of high end is like $2,500 a month or something like that, maybe a little more, but yeah, they feel like they might fall flat on their face because they're also going to be targeting women with who have significant money and they feel like it might not succeed if they go with some generic platform. That's why they were looking for a website.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like I just I would almost just play that whole expert card, like my expert opinion. I mean, just so you know, like I set a school up for a company called Contour Light where we sell $35,000 medical devices, and we use that platform to train doctors on it now. So I mean, their instance is no different than like a lot of the platforms that are on there. I would maybe, if you wanted to, I would just go through and do some research on the discovering the communities. Like there's women centric ones, there's high end ones, and like I'd maybe do some research and point them to those to kind of check out and reference before they decided to go that other route and make that time and that financial commitment to like building their own thing. Like that sounds like a lot of complication to a business that doesn't need to be, in my opinion.
Got it. All right, I'll search through the communities that they.
Yeah, sorry, man. I wish I had better answer, but I mean, honestly, school is gonna be the best bet for them. I promise you.
That's all right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. All right, Lisa, what you got?
So I'm going to drop in the chat a post that I did in the group of sometime last week. I was just trying to get an answer to that.
Okay.
It sounds like the voice bot demo got an upgrade after Charles chatted with George. But I was wondering, is there something new we need to download? And did that also impact the SMS? bot as
Didn't
well?
impact the SMS, and actually Charles is going to put out a video update for that specifically. So there's I was just talking to him outside before this call. There's new advanced settings that GHL has, and then after George was here, he's like, "Oh, I like this because it sounds better," and he kind of challenged Charles to make a better version in GHL to like be as good, and Charles did using the advanced settings in GHL. So he's like, rather than just like push a bunch of updates to all these bots, he's like, I'm just going to show people how to change the settings because it would be a lot less complicated than importing in a new bot or like, you know, having these different workflows, etc. So it's literally just changing the advanced settings on the voice specifically, not conversation or the SMS, to make it have better outputs. Like namely, it has a better cadence. He's using a different voice, and then he took out the repeating the email address because we find that most people don't like it. It's very rare that it incurs errors with that. So he took that out, so it's a lot more fluid, if that makes sense. But he's going to put out a video update for that today.
Oh, cool. And then you say you normally sell the SMS bot.
Yes, that is my
You-
bread and butter.
You call it conversational. It's the same thing, right?
Same thing. Yeah, it just depends on how I'm feeling that moment.
Because I think that SMS, like people are busy, they do this during, like after hours, late at night, whatever, and to get a phone call is kind of disruptive.
Yeah, they're less likely to answer it if it's like an inbound call to them versus if they call. But yeah, I found like most people's communication like method preference is going to be like text message, especially late at night when a lot of people are opting in, stuff like that. You're absolutely right.
Okay, cool. That's all I had. Thank you.
Yep, no worries. And then just so everybody knows, I mean, the reason I stumbled on, we were doing the conversational SMS before like voice was any good in GHL. And honestly, like most of our clients, ad clients at the time when we first started with the conversational AI, so it made most sense to like just follow up with their leads. And then we found that works so well. We just started trying it for other businesses, and it's universal. Like as soon as we attach it to any business that already has traffic, like we automatically increase their results. I couldn't give you like exact percentage, but it has never not happened to be the case if somebody has traffic that we don't improve their results. Because I mean, if you look at stats out there, I think it's 80% of people like prefer SMS to calls. Like it's a very high statistic. And I'm like, well, if 8 out of 10 people want to talk via text, let's meet them where they're at. And it's just worked very, very well for us. So that's why still to this day, that's the one I sell first, unless somebody tells me that all their business is coming from calls. So hopefully that helps.
And somebody asked if I was using, if I'm
Lisa,
using
let's see.
CloseBot for SMS. No, just the Go High Level.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, yeah, we're building everything in Go High Level with their AI. Unless it's a complex situation, then we'll typically we'll employ something like CloseBot if it's more complex. But yeah, most of our new builds now, because we keep things simple and we work with a very specific type of client, we're just following up their leads, simple 3 to 5 questions to qualify and then convert them. We're building a lot of that stuff out in GHL now. All right, cool. All right, Lisa, did that answer your questions?
Yep, thank you.
Both Lisas? Okay, cool. Okay, all right, Carlene, What you got?
Hey, so I have a few questions that I've listed here.
Let's
I'll
get it.
just ask them all and then you can answer them one by one.
Okay, hopefully I
Okay,
remember them all, but let's go.
so the person that I spoke with, he said, can the bot triage? So he said, if someone's calling into a business, it could be new customers, existing customers, or a supplier. So can the bot actually triage that? Now, my response to him was, the bot usually has a function, and the function that I'm talking about here is to make an appointment. And so he says, oh, but if it's a receptionist bot, because I use that word, probably
Uh-huh.
won't use it again, you know, it's going to, lots of different types of questions are going to be coming in. So that was one question.
Yeah.
And this person felt 1K, because I said 1K setup, then 297. He felt that was expensive. He's paying
The
30.
same person that wants to do multiple bots, like multiple different paths.
Yes.
Okay, keep going. Sorry. It's always them.
So he's paying £30 for a service at the moment. I got the impression it was either £30 a week or £30 a day. And his service is quite cheap. So it's just 99 £99 for Google Business Profiles. So, I just said to him, yeah, this might not be a fit for yourself, but the people that you're working with, it might be a fit for them. But I really didn't know how to respond to that. And then he said, what kind of volume would make it worthwhile to have a bot like this? And then he said to me, what is your conversion data? I didn't have any, so I just had to be
Yeah.
honest and say, right, I can get that to you, but I don't have it right now. So yeah.
Anytime somebody asks a question that I don't have an answer to directly, which is rare, but I usually default to that. Like, hey, let me get with the team. I'll follow back up with you. Two things. It's always, in my experience, been the people that ask the most questions or want the most complex things typically have the smallest budget for some reason. Not all the time, but most times that is typically the case. So just what you're experiencing, they wanted to do all this complex things. You quote them a price and they're like, oh my God, that's expensive. Those are the businesses I generally stay away from because they usually have more opinions than dollars. And not to be mean, but like when it starts in a situation like that and you kind of have to fight to or bend over backwards to do more work than what we're typically doing for a client for either the same or less money, they typically start creeping the scope. And again, I'm just kind of sharing my experience here and then how I would deal with it. I'll share that here in a second as well. So I generally stay away from those types of clients right now. And I also know you're trying to get some traction and get going, get clients. So it can be done. You can do this within Go High Level. You can, have it ask questions and have it route down a different path or, circle back to different questions. So that technically can be done. That would certainly be a more complex situation than, I like dealing with in most cases. And I would definitely put a premium price tag on doing something like that because anytime you're doing stuff like that, no matter the platform, there is a lot more room or variables that could go wrong and make it a lot more of a pain for you to build and then also maintain as you're building and using that system. So I certainly wouldn't undercharge for that. And it already sounds like, the price you quoted him is a lot for him. So I would almost stay away from this one. Now, the type of volume he would probably need is, it's pretty safe to say, I don't think we have, and this is me pulling numbers out of thin air, but like, I know it's somewhere around here. I want to say our average conversion increase, meaning from the leads people are getting across the board that we've seen, is about 13%. Now, in our body contouring realm, I think that's closer to like 21, 22% because it's, very specific. But I don't think we've seen anything less than like, honestly, it's probably could be a little higher than that, but I think our average is about 13% increase. So for every 100 leads somebody's getting, whether that's a month, a week, et cetera, we're typically converting, 13% more of those leads to that, whatever that conversion point is. So for a lot of ours, it's like booked appointments, in-person consultations, stuff like that. So it's pretty safe to say we see that pretty across the board with traffic. For them, if they're selling a $99 thing, how much did you quote them on the monthly?
297.
So, he just has to convert 3 of those per month. So in theory, if that same conversion statistic held static for you, then he'd need about 30 to 40 leads per month for him to convert those extra few. And again, if all it did was help convert like 10, 13% for it to pay for itself. Now, obviously he wants to make more money than paying for itself. So, I'd be looking at like 50 leads a month should more than pay for itself if those conversion statistics held true, which again, in every industry that we've been in, as long as they have traffic, we've never seen really anything lower than that.
Got it. And in terms of call volume, how many calls would, because what I demoed, well, I actually demoed the two. He wanted to see the two. How many calls would he need to get? Or, he's gonna, although he had all these objections,
Uh-huh.
what was really funny, Charles, was he was like, right, okay, this is interesting. Send me a paragraph and I'll email my list. So
Yeah.
he still wants to promote
Oh,
me.
this is that same guy?
The same guy.
Okay.
Yes. I think it was that referral fee that worked there. So
Well, yeah, because he's only selling $99 things. You're offering 500.
I know. Yeah. So he's still willing to promote me to
Yeah.
his list, which is great. But I did want to ask you this question outside of that, because I thought about it yesterday. So how
Mhm.
many calls would somebody need to be getting for for it to be worth their while? So if a roofer said to me, if I were talking to a roofer, I could, yeah. So basically, how many calls? Sorry, I'm
Gotcha.
chatting.
Well, so one of the reasons I asked like how much traffic people are getting in particular is like I want to know how much call volume they have, but I also like asking how much their average job is. This is one of the reasons I like working with clients that have a comma in the price tag and generally stay away from people that are selling like lower ticket things, because it doesn't
Yeah.
require a lot of volume. Like if I just get one client to move forward at $1,000, that generally will more than cover the cost of my AI, no matter what my price is. Cause I mean, we only charge up to $997 for just an AI. So that's one of the reasons I like working with businesses that charge more. I mean, there's really no like number I could put on the amount of calls that like,
Okay.
because I mean, also one thing to consider too, and this is for everybody listening, generally, and again, I'm speaking in generalities, there's always the outliers here, so it could be different, but in most
Yeah.
cases, the people that have the most complex scenarios, they're going to give you the most feedback of, I wanted to ask all these questions and, 10, 15 questions are just stuff that probably shouldn't be asked on calls or is unnecessary. And they're going to make the process more complicated than it needs to be. They're not going to allow you to keep it simple. And in my opinion and experience, the simpleness of the bots is what helps us convert a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if you're making it overly complex, that will tank the conversion rate, which then means you need more calls or, more at bats to, score.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put a number on that, but there's so many different variables of what he's doing, how attractive the offer is. Is it people are calling and they want to sell a $99 thing on the phone with no human intervention? Because that's something different as well. And then it being able to convey that offer, qualify people. So that's a very, very open-ended question I need to know more variables about.
Got it. Because when I was doing cold calling, some people were saying to me, "Oh, I only get 6 calls a day." And I can remember thinking, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And so,
That's not bad. 6 over a day is 180 over the month. So, that's pretty decent. I don't know how many of those are missing. So my next question, just so anybody's if they're asking that, if I get 6 calls a day, is that enough? I would ask how many of those are coming after hours or that you're unable to capture. And if they're not answering half of those calls, then that's 90 calls a month that are going unanswered. It'd be a pretty safe bet that you would be able to put your AI to work and you would help capture some of those from going somewhere else or not doing business with them. So 6 calls a day is certainly fine. The average business that we talk to, they're saying like 10, 15 calls, but 6 over the course of a month is 180 calls a month. That's a lot of attempts.
got it. Okay, that's really useful. And I just wondered, I haven't sent him the paragraph to send to his list yet. I was just wondering what I should actually send. Yeah.
Who is his list of people? What do they do? Like, what do they sell?
Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh, okay. Well, just
Yeah.
shoot him an email. Just say, hey, to better craft this email or paragraph for you, so it's tailored to your people. What specifically are they selling, or what type of service are they offering? And then once I have that, then I'll whip something up for you. But essentially, the short paragraph is, I would say something along the lines of, we've stumbled across a new technology that will actually help turn more of your, leads or whatever into specific thing that they're selling. I would also probably encourage them wanting to hop on a call or like a demo if you guys want to see what this looks like. and kind of allude to like a beta program or something for people to come and check out. In a nutshell, that's probably what I'd do off the top of my head, but make it very specific of like, we stumbled across a new technology that'll help you turn more of X into the thing that you want.
Yeah.
We're allowing for a certain amount of people to check this thing out before it goes public, and everybody like has that FOMO of wanting to be that certain amount of people that gets to check it out. I mean, that's what I would do initially.
So give him that paragraph to give to his list.
Yes, but I would want to know what what it is they're
Find out.
selling, and then tailor it to that. Yeah. And just
Got
say,
it.
hey, would anybody else be interested in this? You know, we found this new technology. We're allowing some people to check it out. We're going to be using this for us. It helps do this. Who would be interested in checking this out?
Got it. Because he sells GB Google Business Profile for 99 at the moment. He said he's going to go up to 200. So I just feel like he doesn't probably have a niche that he's sending it to, but I think it would be good to ask him and then have what you've just said in the background. Now, I was going to ask another question, but you've kind of asked that because somebody gave me a list of electrical associations to write to, and I wanted to do the you've told us this before. What it's sort of going to them with, oh, I just want, what is it? Oh, yeah. So I want to go to these associations. They don't know me from Adam or Eve, so that there's going to be reluctance there. But I want to get my foot in the door with them. And you were telling us to go in with sort of like a naivety or playing dumb, and you gave
Always,
us
yeah.
but I couldn't remember what that was.
In a nutshell, and yeah, I have this on my list of things to add into like the power partner section. So whenever I go to associations or people of influence and I want to get in front of their audience, I'll always reach out and just say, hey, saw you guys, work with these types of people. We just developed this new technology that will literally help, turn more of X into, again, I use that verbiage in almost everything, turn more of, X leads into, whatever thing or conversion event that they're wanting. I feel like this might be, we have similar audiences and would love to explore some possibilities of working together to get this out to people or something along those lines. Other times I've asked, do you guys have a vendor list or, do you guys have, I'm trying to think of the words. It's vendors, if you can be on their vendor list, or do you guys have paid promotion where I can get in front of your audience? But I usually try to play dumb and ask about, is there possibilities for us working together to push this out? Since we have similar audiences, I would go off of that one first, because sometimes they'll let you do it for free. And then sometimes when you get on the call, that's when you can flash the, pay you $1,000 for every one that you send us, et cetera, et cetera. But I just say, basically we have something that can help your audience. Since we have similar audiences, would love to hop on a call and see if we could explore potentials of working together, something along those lines.
Got it. And I'm trying my hardest to remember this. It was also something along the lines like, oh, we wanted to test it out. We're just starting out. I think you used the just starting out spiel or.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. It might've been similar to the free trial one then. We're bringing this to mind, want to pick your brain. Roughly saying, you have an audience of like our ideal people would love to test this out with a few of your people, see if it can help them, sell more, whatever the thing is they sell. I'll think about that one a little more, like mow that one over, and then see if I can put you to some a little more concrete together for you.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Jeff.
No problem. All right, Audrey.
Hey there, I'll be real quick.
No worries.
In December, we imported the demos for the industries. And I don't think we did it right, because you have to be in your agency account, right? Okay.
You have to import it to agency and then push it to the sub account.
And so you have to create a new sub account for each one of the demos.
You don't have to, but it is recommended to keep it a lot less messy.
Yeah. Messy's driving us crazy. More messy. Yeah. Clean up on aisle 4.
Yep, I've been there many times.
Got it. Okay. So since the last couple of months here, we've been looking at our process and our snapshots and our sales process and yada yada. Would I need to delete all of those and then import the new ones that Charles has done, or what's the best way to get the most current of the demos?
Gotcha. So, the most current demo Demo on Demand has been updated. I don't know exactly when the last time it was updated, but it's going to be importing that in and then just disabling the old one and switching on the new one. Now, as far as the new bots, though, the reason he's making a video and going to pop that out today is because he said it'd be very confusing for everybody to just import new ones in and have to delete stuff. So he's going to show people how to update them. He said it's not going to be like a seismic shift in how they operate or anything. It's just going to be like tweaking a few settings. So he said he's just going to make a video. That way you could go in there and it'd probably be easier to just go in there and change the settings for each individual bot that you wanted to show versus importing new bots in, deleting things, stuff like that.
So just to make sure I understand. So if we're going after power washers, for example, which is kind of something I knew nothing about before starting with this, but anyway, it seems to be working. So why not?
Just say if it's working, yeah, it's fine. We just made like minute things.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So the point is, if we're going after power washers, then I would just, because we've never been able to successfully demo something and I'm not sure where it broke down. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in order to be able to use it effectively.
Okay. And on the power washing one, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and when you say haven't had a successful demo, what's it doing? Is it getting a hiccup at a certain spot? Is it not working at all? Like, what's it?
I think it's a human error. I don't think I did it right. I think.
Okay, so I don't have a ton of the tech troubleshooting know-how, to be honest. Are you either post in the group and like tag Charles as far as like where that and I would create a Loom video and just kind of show your setup, like, hey, is something off about this or something?
Okay.
Or the other thing is on Wednesday, Charles does the same 1 p.m. call. But if you ask that same question on that call, he'll probably just have you share your screen. And as long as you're logged in a high level, he'll go through there faster than you can say it and figure out what's wrong and probably show you how to fix it very easily.
Okay. So when I'm in the agency account and I'm looking at imported snapshots, then and they're in there, then I've done it right.
Yeah, if they're in there, you've done it right.
Okay,
yeah, there might just be a slightly updated version, but that's not going to make or break anything.
Okay, that's got. And then the demo on demand is generic, or right? Because I haven't been able to get that working yet either.
Oh, that's my favorite thing. Yeah, so the demo on demand is what I use for every demo. It is the one bot. Like, I would just set that up personally. I'd rather that than like 10 different bots for 10 different industries, because I can use that for any industry. And once that one's set up, I just pretty much leave it and just show people based on their feedback.
Okay, so the demo on demand imported snapshot, then I make that into a sub account, right?
Yeah, and if you have an agency account, you could use that, or we have a specific demo account that we have our demo on demand in, that only that's in there. That way we can show people that, and that's like the only thing that's in there.
And then there was somebody recently who said if they put it in a certain sub account or in their actual sub account, because if a lead came in, they wanted that to go into their workflows and automations. And so that's where my brain really exploded. I had a hard time with that.
Yeah. So that's why we kept it in a separate sub account with the demo. So that way we could have our lead contact info in one area where, like, yeah, we have our workflows, contracts, stuff like that. And then the demo one, if they want to go through the demo on demand, or like we do it on a call, that's a separate sub account, because we have it set to where it'll delete that person's info after, 10 or 15 minutes. So that way, if they want to go through the demo again, we can. So we keep that in a separate one. So that way we don't lose that contact information.
Okay. And it's not a big deal to move a contact over to when they become a client, right? I mean,
correct. Yeah. Not hard at all.
Okay. No. Okay. I think I just had a bit of, issues with that.
Well, first off, I want to shout you out because you just closed a $10,000 deal and you barely know how the tech works. You sound like me. Like, you just go out there and sell it. We'll figure it out later, right? Like, but we got dollars coming in.
We're about 14 months into this, this GHL hell heaven. And I have to say, we've got quite a few clients, but they've been sort of like a website here and a whatever there. But now we're selling the entire system. And what's happening now is we're just figuring out where the crazy is and how to fix it and how to put it in snapshots, and then how to use automation to keep our fulfillment hours down. That's what we've been stuck in, which has been brutal,
Oh yeah. You should, well, depending on what you're selling, the AI agency snapshot that has like the onboarding questionnaire and workflows, like that thing is great. Like that shortcuts our onboarding quite a bit.
Does it? Okay. So that's the AI agency one, right?
Yeah. AI agency snapshot. It's got an onboarding workflow in there. There's a whole video that shows you how it all works. Like that thing shortcutted our fulfillment quite a bit.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay, great.
Hey, Jeff, can I ask a quick question? Because I'm now
confused. I'm done. Thanks, guys. I don't want to hoard the floor here. Go ahead.
No worries, Audrey. Yeah. And then go ahead. I think that was Lisa.
I'm now confused by what you had answered to me before. So the demo on demand, is that being replaced, or is he just going to show us
No, demo on demand is not being touched. I was just, if she was talking about, she had imported them in a while back. I think we had a new version come out the beginning of the year, but that part's not being touched. The video that Charles will have coming out today is about how to update the voice settings so they sound a little more natural for
Or
any
the
of the
demo
voice
on
bots that you
demand?
build. Not for the demo on demand, for
Oh.
just for any of the bots that you build for clients or like the agent library, the voice agents.
So is the demo on demand getting a voice upgrade? Since
No,
he
I mean,
knows how to
we're
do
still
that.
using it as is.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's been working good for us, so we haven't updated that one in particular.
Okay, so no, don't. All right, that was my question. So
Okay.
now I understand the answer differently.
Okay, sorry if I was
Thank you.
confusing earlier. All right, let's see here. Dale, I got Dale, then I got Oz, then I got Jair, and then I got Frank. Let's see here. All right, Dale, what you got, brother?
Am I unmuted? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is a IRL event next week in my town that's being put on by a company called Marbleism,
Okay, Marbleism.
and they it's an all day thing, and it's pretty much just showing how to use their stuff. But there's going to be a lot of people there, and I'm going to go ahead and go. But when I started looking at what they offer, they've got a 6-in-1 product, which you get an executive assistant, lead generation, receptionist, SEO blog writer, social media manager, and team collaboration, all for a whopping $44 a month.
That's insane.
And I'm imagining possible conversations with people.
Mhm.
Why is your $297 thing better than this $44 thing?
Well, yeah. So, of course, not the first time we've ever heard that. I remember a couple years ago when we were charging $297, and there's people doing it for like $97, et cetera, et cetera. We always tell people like, you kind of get what you pay for in this realm. When companies are built like that and they try to give you a lot for as little as possible, they're playing a scale game, meaning they're trying to get as many customers or clients as possible, which means they're not going to have as much attention on your business. Now, the reason you'd pay somebody like me more is because I'll be a little bit more invested in your business because I work with all our clients personally. We understand your business, we're tweaking, we're modifying, and it's not a do-it-yourself type of situation. You have somebody managing that for you. So you could certainly go with like the cheaper of the two, but a lot of times you end up doing a lot of the work yourself, and you're costing yourself at least the difference in what you would pay somebody to manage this for you, so you could be good and do the thing that you're good at, rather than now you have to be this tech person managing the system because you wanted the cheaper route to go. So roughly that's what I tell. It's just like you're paying for the expert to handle this for you.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Mhm.
But where you guys are a bunch of salesmen and everything, I'm a tech guy. I mean, I couldn't sell a fire extinguisher to somebody who just lit themselves on fire. I've been building automations for 45 years, so somebody else has always been selling them.
Yeah. Well, so real quick, my I guess short answer for the less sales inclined would be, I excuse me. Try not to cough. I'm getting over being sick, guys. Almost lost me there for a second. I would learn a little bit more. I'm guessing that's more of a self-serve portal for $44. I mean, there's just absolutely no way that they could fulfill and handle that like all personally for that price point. So unless they have some crazy back end, et cetera, that's going to be more of a self-serve portal. I would probably term that as like, with this, yeah, it's a great deal, but a lot of times you're going to end up with a do-it-yourself project. And if you're like any other business owner that I know, you don't need more stuff on your plate. You need less stuff on your plate. So the reason you'd pay somebody like me, seemingly more is, yes, financially, like our service technically costs more, but it'll save you a lot more in time that you don't have to do that, so you can focus on the things that you're good at. So rather than doing it yourself, you're getting another team member essentially without having to pay the payroll of another team member. If you go with something like that, you're giving yourself another job, which you would probably need another team member for, and it's going to cost you a lot more in the long end. Like, I mean, roughly that's what I would say. Do you want to do it yourself, or would you rather have somebody take more off your plate rather than put more on your plate? Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's and I also I posted something in the community about this. And I put a link to it as well. for other people to look at and have them chime in on it. But yeah, I'm gonna go just morbid curiosity was the beginning of the reason why I'd go. But then I started thinking, well, there's gonna be people there that are gonna want something done and they're not gonna want to do it themselves, and this is kind of like getting Google Workspace. It's costing you whatever, and then you got to figure out how to use Google Workspace. And I'm a
Of which, Dale, you have the power of that. That's the whole point. And you explained it yourself in your experience. You actually have the experience that you're concerned in the sales process. Those other people don't. So you don't feel like you're less. You're actually far greater. You just sat and said, I've been doing this for 40 years. That's who they want.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Frank.
Yeah, don't be scared. Be empowered.
Yeah, I'm not a big group person anyways, so I'm
Put your
more-
Superman cape on, Dale, and get out there and fly, dude.
I know, actually I have to grab the hammer of Thor since I'm a Northman, so
There you go. The hammer of Thor.
Dale, I have a suggestion. I was in the same spot, 30 years in IT industry, working with only corporate people, but I started going to local chamber of commerce and just socializing it for evening mixer, and that will help you to open up.
Yeah, there's one of those next week too. So, and it's on tax day. So, how many people are going to be there on tax day? Probably not a lot.
The ones that already have that stuff taken care of, though, the ones that got their stuff together probably be there.
That's true. Good point.
That's the way I would look at it, man. I don't want the last minute guys.
I'll give you. I guess I won't give you an update on it next Monday because the event's on Thursday. So I'll give you an update on it in a couple weeks then.
Yeah, keep us posted. Two things I'll say with this, with anybody. Definitely, I would harness taking all those opportunities that I could. There's more to be learned from it by going than not going. In any scenario, even if it is catastrophic, everybody's like, why are you 10 times more than this? Yeah, which again, most times, we dream that stuff up in our mind. Nobody's going to be as critical of that. There will be a few people that ask, and that'll give you an opportunity to exercise your pitch or how you overcome that in real life. And I think that's going to be more helpful than, thinking about it and not going and wondering. So I would encourage doing that. And then also, I think it's going to go a lot better than you would expect. Most times I dread going to a place. And then I go and I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad I went. It was way better than I thought. So.
Yeah, in 2 weeks I might be telling you guys I got enough clients that I can retire.
There you go, man. I'm waiting for that day. Let's go. Hell yeah.
Right,
Well, keep us posted on that.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. I got Oz. Audrey, I already got you, right? Okay, cool. I'll put the hand down. Oz, what you got, brother?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Good to be back. I've been kind of gone since November.
Where you been, man?
Yeah, I started another company in back early October and launched it in November, and so been working on that, and that's going good. So now I'm back.
Let's go. Okay, I don't blame you then. All right.
So, a couple of things. It's a two-part question in regards to A2P, and number one is. Coming back, reaching out. Here's what I'm finding. A lot of companies want to stick to their numbers or their phone number. And they're like, I don't want a new number and everything. And so I kind of just wanted to get your perspective and feedback in regards to what happens when you hear that. Are you just simply forwarding it through the system and keeping their numbers when it's needed, like after hours, or are you, having them switch their ads over to this phone number? I'm just kind of wondering, what's your game plan in regards to how you attack that? What seems to work smooth in regards to that? And then the second part is now I'm finding that when I'm registering for A2P, having to go through the persona where the person has to verify their facial recognition and so forth. I've done that for my companies, no problem. But now I'm not going to be doing it for the sub account. How are you guys working through that? Because these companies are like, listen, who am I going to get to do that? And how does this work? And to try to explain to someone is like, hey, I need you to stand in front of that computer and kind of do this.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that why they're using that, but just walk me through the sales process of those two, please.
Yeah, I'll answer the second one first, then I'll answer the other one because that'll be a longer answer. First one, a lot of times, like we'll do the kickoff call, and anytime that we need stuff for like the onboarding, specifically, like if it's like the identification verification, like Charles will hop on the call with the people and like walk them through on Zoom, so that way there's less room for error. Because you're absolutely right. If you tell them what to do is one thing, but if you're like there kind of hand holding them, we prefer doing that type of stuff anyway because it's kind of white glove customer service, we call it. So we would just take care of all that stuff in the onboarding call and make sure we have all the info we need for that. And if there's anything else that's missing, we make sure we have that before we hop on that call. And then we set that expectation. Here's what's going to happen today. We're going to do X, Y, and Z, but also we got to do identity verification. So you need to be at a computer that you can take a picture on or have your phone. Cause I think you can do it from the phone too. I've seen Charles do it on the phone. So we'll just do that with them while they're on Zoom. That way we're literally holding their hand and it's less of an issue. Very, very easy to do that with virtually anything. And also we learned that with getting access to people's ad managers and back in the Facebook ads days. And it was so much less of a headache just to hop on and walk them through it versus tell them what to do and hope they do it right. So that's that answer. When it comes to forwarding a phone number, a couple different answers for this. One, we generally, I mean, anything you don't make a big deal is not a big deal. Say, hey, I completely understand. Here's how it'll work. We're going to use this for your digital presence, the areas that it's easy to change. And we will literally change the phone numbers in anywhere that they'll allow us. In most cases, that's their ads. But any digital presence that they'll allow us to change, we'll use that. If they want to maintain their exact phone number, you can do this one of two ways. You can forward it with a lot of the different companies. There's just different ways of doing that. And it usually takes somebody that is an account representative or admin on the business's behalf, plus you, to get a hold of that phone carrier company and figure out what those forwarding rules look like. And it can be done. But we've also done or seen, we haven't done this personally, but somebody just told me they do that, but we say, hey, we only will forward or set up your actual number to be used with the AI if you invest at the annual level, and they make them pay for the whole year up front. That way you don't go through the whole rigmarole of doing all this stuff for somebody that's only going to be with you for a month or two. And I was like, dude, that is genius. So that would be what I would recommend, because it is going to be a little bit of work depending on the carrier. I mean, it's not hard, but it is just like out of the ordinary stuff that we do. So I would do that. And a lot of times you'll either get somebody an annual client, or they're like, I'll think about it. And it's not a big deal after that. So it should negate either way.
That's a good nugget. All right. I like that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then I didn't even think about kind of telling them ahead of time to set up on the onboard part. Usually we do the onboard and then we start building that. But I like that part of it. Maybe get that handled from the get-go and do it on the onboard. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all. And good to have you back,
Good
brother.
to be back. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Heck yeah. All right. I got Jair.
All right. Circling back to that commission thing,
Okay.
what's a good, it's the first time I've ever kind of hired somebody for this kind of role. What's a good amount for this?
The
Like,
number
what's
that's
a
always,
good commission rate?
yeah, the number that's always stuck for us is always been 20%. And we'll always make sure that we're charging enough to where it's meaningful for the person that's selling. And also it's not, crippling us as far as growth. So for instance, and this is just rough numbers, if we were selling $1,000 thing, they make $200. We're selling a $3,000 thing, they make $600. Keeps them hungry. One thing we've never done, and somebody may argue this with me, we only pay off that initial setup, and like for a closed deal, we don't pay anything like monthly or ongoing. Because I have had instances in the past, and this is going to sound bad, but where somebody sold so much for this that we were paying a lot monthly, and they got less hungry and they stopped selling, and we're just relying on this, commission they were getting from our monthly revenue. So we only pay off that initial setup fee, but we've always done 20%. We used to do like a sliding scale depending on how much they sold, but it got very messy. And then it's just like, well, if you just sell more, then you make more money. So that's been the number that stuck
Right.
for us.
Okay. Well, okay, because technically they're not going to be selling. Their sole goal is to just get booked meetings.
Book meetings. Okay. Well,
And
same
then
thing,
that's
though.
where, and then that's where I would do, okay.
Yeah, I still
was
wouldn't
also
mind, like-
thinking of doing, like,
Oh, go
just
ahead,
in
Seth.
case he doesn't hit like his goal right away, doing like a $20 per booked appointment regardless.
I'd be cool with that. Again, as long as, look at like your metrics. like what you're selling, how much you can afford to do that. I mean, honestly, if you're closing 1 in 5 people 20%, I mean, you should be able to afford to pay $100 for every 5 appointments. And then if you pay 20% commission, I mean, that's still not eating a lot of what you're making as long as you're charging properly. So absolutely, yeah, keep them hungry, keep them booked. Anybody I close, you get 20%.
Okay, easy. Yeah, so far it's been pretty much above $1,000. So it's like either 1,000 or it's 1,500 or it's 2,000 or it's 2,500.
Oh yeah, that's good then. So I mean, yeah, 5 appointments, they make $100 just in booked appointments. If you close 1 out of 5, they make, you know, $200 to $300 for at 1,000 to $1,500. So I mean, that's pretty solid. So
cool.
And then if they start feeding you deals and you start closing them, just start creeping your prices up. Because again, if you just start getting more confident, selling more, charging more, they make more money. It's just like this flywheel that gets going. Like when they get that taste of like commission, oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah, no, he's definitely hungry. I've been seeing him while we're on the conversation make a bunch of dials.
Hell yeah, let's
while
go.
we're in this meeting. Cool.
Yara, where did you
cool.
hire that person? How did you find them?
Yeah, how did you come across that guy?
So this is actually one of the supervisors for the places that I was working at before. He just got let go.
Dang.
And he was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I saw his worth ethic like while I was also there, and I was like, yeah, I could actually pretty much like I like your style. You're a super honest person. Like I want you to come work with me. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. Especially since he just got laid off, so he was kind of not sure what he was gonna do, especially for the summer that's coming around. So he's all about it. So it kind of just fell in my lap.
Yeah, you got lucky. That's a very rare occurrence. That's good.
Yeah.
Though. Good stuff, man. Heck yeah. All right. Let's see. Oz, I got your question answered right. I see the hand. Okay, I'll put that one down. Let's see. All right, I got David. Let's go.
Hey, Jeff.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man, first time using this tool. So great setup, man. Appreciate the effort you guys put in.
Dude, welcome. Appreciate you.
Hey, so I just got started kind of drinking through a fire hose. I'm a sales guy by trade, but on the tech side, when you sell these AI chatbots with the voice and such, do you give your clients access to those accounts, or are you just kind of running them for them?
So we'll run them for them and we'll give them very minimal access. So like the things we give access to our clients for, a lot of people would laugh, but it's just like contacts, opportunities so they can see like the pipelines and I mean, maybe dashboard and like settings. I mean, we don't give them access to really see anything else. So we'll do it and we'll try to make it as hands-off for them as possible, except for the communication aspect. Because of course they need to see the conversations. Sometimes they'll intervene or, and then the pipeline stages so they can see like, oh, it's talking to somebody, you know, it's closed appointment. Oh, and calendars. We'll give people access to calendars. But yeah, we don't let them touch like workflows or bots or any of that stuff.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And then one other thing is good. Maybe I should save it for Charles, but on the contract that you have online, the sample contract, how do you open that in GHL? I mean, I downloaded it from the snapshot and then uploaded it to the sub account, but how do I actually look at it?
Oh, it's in a weird place. Let me find it real quick. So let me see. It took me forever to find it too, so I got to pull it up as I look here. Give me a second. Let me get logged in. And just for everybody listening, as far as like, I minimize access as best we can for clients, not to restrict them. I just noticed that the more things people have to tinker with, the more they tinker, and they never blame themselves when they mess anything up. They always blame you. So we learned that the hard way many times. So we try to restrict what they can and can't do, so they only mess with the stuff that they need to. So where is it? Payments. Okay, so it's in. Here, I'll show you this account real quick. Okay, so it's in payments, and then it's in documents and contracts, and then it should be under templates here. And then you should be able to see them or create them based on a contact and stuff in here. Okay. But it's under payments.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, perfect, man. Yeah, but if you click on it, it should open up, correct?
Yeah, should be able to click on it, should be able to see it, should be able to assign people to it. So.
All right, sweet, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, it took me forever to find that too, because it didn't register in my mind that it should be under payments. I thought there'd be like a section for it or something. But awesome. Appreciate you. And Shanine, I got you. There we go.
Hello.
Howdy.
So I did my first bunch of cold calls on Friday.
Let's go. Hell yeah. That's a
It was
celebration in
really
itself.
nice to use the power dialer. I had been practicing with my own phone numbers on that power dialer, so I wouldn't be fumbling over
So you're a pro
everything.
now, though, huh?
Yeah, I know how to
Let's
set it
go.
up. Everything's good. Yeah, I love it. I picked electricians to start out with because I used to work for IBEW.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, it was not, it was a little bumpy ride.
Cold
So
calling
first
always is.
yeah, and I figured, I was like, it's the first time, no worries. But question is how to handle receptionists. For the most part, they were friendly, they were nice. Oh, let me take down your information and I'll give it to the owner. In my mind, it's going into the circular filer, right?
Right.
And then when I did get the owner, it was like at some point I felt like I needed a bingo card to just play a game to see how fast they can hang up. So this is using the script and everything. Any, I don't know, I guess any suggestions, with the receptionist, in my mind, it doesn't make sense for me to say, oh, never mind, I'll call back, because they're the gatekeeper anyway, right?
Yeah.
Any suggestions on those two items?
Well, so two things on the receptionist. I mean, you got to do a good job of like selling them on getting it, to that person. Now, just like what you just said to me, I have no problem saying that to people like receptionists, or like if you ever see me on calls with like coaches, people always laugh at how I talk to our clients and stuff. But like, I'm just honest, like I would be with a friend. Like you just said, hey, Shawneen, let's be real. You said you're going to pass along the information. This isn't one of those cases where it's going to end up in the circular, filing bin, is it? Is it okay? And real quick, like have like some human characteristics about you when it comes to that type of stuff. Like I always say that stuff because I'm like, well, if I'm never going to talk to them again, I want to leave it all on the field, right? So I'll say that stuff. We'll get the chuckle out of them, and then say, tell you what, can you do me one last favor, Shawneen? You're going to pass that along, but is there a time that I could also give a call back that I'd be most likely to get a hold of who that is? And what time is that? Okay, awesome. And what was their name again? Is it okay if I tell them that you said to call at this time for them? And again, I'll just kind of get them to like micro commit every step of the way.
Okay.
I've also, that would be my first choice. I've also like, Shawneen, real quick, I'm sure you probably get tons of calls like this. I'm sure they all go in the same place, the circular, filing bin beside you, not actually get passed on. And I totally understand and respect that. But I have something that could really help you guys sell more full, roof replacements, or depending on the type of business you're calling. What do I got to do to get you to pass this off for real? Like, do I need to buy you lunch? Cause I will, cause I really need the opportunity to show, you guys that we can do this. And again, I have sold myself to these people and I've offered to buy lunch. I personally have never had to buy somebody lunch. They never held me to that, but they always admire like the persistence, or like, it's different than what you'd expect. Cause cold call is like, okay, cool. All right, bye. But if you're like persistent about it, that's where I get people to pass me off. So I would go a little harder on that side with those people and say the things that are on your mind, not anything disrespectful, but like the circular filing bin. Like I would laugh about that and I'm like, yeah, I'll pass this one on. Because that's what happened with me and Joey got past a gatekeeper who lied to us, and we thought he was the business owner. And at the end of the call, like after 30 minutes of our time, it's like, I'll be honest, man, I'm not even the business owner. I'm the guy that like takes these calls, and usually, I pass it on or I throw it away. And 95% of the time, I don't even pass it on. It's like, but this one's actually really cool. So, but we learn, just go hard with those people, and then they'll be good salespeople to get you up the ladder. Now, when it comes to the business owner, you said it's like a bingo game. How fast can they get off the call? Have you noticed that you're saying certain things and then they hang up? Is it like the same point in your script, or like when are they hanging up in general?
So I am actually using you guys' cold calling script. So I'm wondering if maybe I should pivot from that. Yeah, they're hanging up just before I can. Right after I tell them, I'm going to be honest, this is click. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so a couple things with that, just so everybody here's clear, like scripts are I wouldn't say personality based, but like, my script may not work for you. Your script may not work for me type of situation. The thing I've noticed with that one, you got to be kind of quick and boppy with it, meaning like, and I always tell everybody, smile when you call, even though cold calling is not the funnest thing in the world.
Right.
But here's the difference. Like if using that script, and I'm not saying you're using it one way or the other, but if I was calling and is this the business owner? You say, yeah. Okay, Shawneen, I'll be honest, this is a cold call. I got something to pick. You're going to click, right? Versus if it's like, all right, Shawneen, I'm sorry. This is a cold call. I want to be honest with you, but I got something to pitch your business. You give me 30 seconds, just hear me out, or you can tell me to kick rocks. And like, and if you just have like a little bit more enthusiasm and like that more playfulness, I've noticed that gets through with a lot of the business owners better than being just reading a script. So I would encourage like, even like recording it if you want to, but testing the tonality and the playfulness of your voice. And like, again, like almost like you're calling a friend, like this would be the way I think of it. And like, you're almost pulling a prank on them. Like, it's always like that fun, energetic, like, hey, Shawneen, all right, I gotta come clean with you. This is a cold call. I got something to pitch your business, but I promise you're going to love it. You can either give me 30 seconds or you can tell me to kick rocks. And again, when we've said it fun and playful and fast like that, that's when we get through to people. If I'm like, hey, I'll be honest, this is man, it sounds like you're about to tell me some bad news. I'm gonna click too. So I would encourage playing with the tone and the pace of that and the playfulness of it, and then let me know if you're still having that issue, because everybody that's used that opener seems to have luck with it. So it's got to be a tonality issue, I would guess. So test that and then let me know.
I'll go back and I'll listen to the recordings, because since it is the power dialer that I set up, it's calling from the number that's in there, so every single call is recorded.
Okay. Cool.
So I'll check that out. Yeah, I even had one owner when I asked him, by any chance, are you the owner of ABC Company? And he said, not if you're recording. And it was like, okay.
Well, I would say, man, you're my kind of guy. Well, don't worry, this isn't the IRS or the CIA, but
right. So the next question is I am going to go in person to a few to-go restaurants.
Okay.
And just talk to them really about utilizing the system versus DoorDash. I'm gonna grab my little sling and with my rock and boom, see if I get them
see if you
off
slay Goliath.
see if I can get them off of the 30% pay ticket they're doing. I mean, they can still use DoorDash 6% to deliver.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, you can use both. I mean, I think that would be some good practice for you, just going in person in business and seeing, because it's a lot harder to tell somebody no in person, I will admit, like, you know, so I think that be some good like testing with you. Now, personally, I don't like working with restaurants just because there's a lot. I don't like working with restaurants because there's like a lot of variables and it's lower ticket, but I would not let that discourage you. I would go talk to these people and just get that firsthand experience of seeing what their response is to that. Okay. Some of my first best clients, like I found people on Groupon. I wouldn't say best. I got 2 really good clients out of it. The rest were not the greatest, but I got a lot of people that were using Groupon, and it was the same type of situation. I was knocking doors or sending looms saying, hey, I can get you off Groupon. We can cut out the middleman, stop giving 50%. Yeah. We'll get you over here. So that could be a good strategy for you in regards to the Uber.
So in doing something like that, should I go equipped with like a 1-pager of like some key points, or is that more of talking points and then get that appointment?
My personal opinion, because I did this when I was first starting out, anytime I had either clipboard or information to give them, they always asked for it. Okay, yeah, we'll follow. I never got a single call, versus if I went in there empty handed, kind of pique their curiosity and say, oh, you know, I don't have any of that, but let's schedule a time where I can come back and show you, or we can hop on Zoom, and just get them to commit to an appointment. I don't ever leave information. In fact, I don't even do business cards anymore, because every time I do that, it's under the premise that, oh, I'll reach out to you. They never do. So I'm trying to collect something a little more valuable.
All right. And the last thing is Friday, I was watching one of the cable channels, and I actually saw a commercial for Voice AI.
Really?
Yeah, dude was in the bed asleep, and you know, the Voice AI was like, do you want me to answer that for you? And he was like, yeah, I'm a business owner, I sleep too. And
that's cool.
You know,
that's good.
Which has kind of been the pitch I've been doing on my social media, right? And they were even offering a 14-day free trial. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of rattled me quickly, but then I was like, yeah, let them spend all the ad dollars, and then I can go and get other business owners that are may or may not have watched it. But just in knowing how fast this is moving, I mean, have you given any thoughts of what does that look like if people start advertising, like on TV or anything like that?
No, so I personally haven't seen anything like that on TV yet. So if you figure out that company, I'd love to see it because it sounded like the ad was pretty cool. I just think of it as more awareness rather than more competition. Because I'll be honest, I mean, there's 30 plus million businesses in the U.S. that all of them could essentially need this type of stuff. Even if there was 10 giants advertising this stuff, I mean, it's still the classic Pepsi versus Coke. There's gonna be people that see that, I don't want that, I'd rather go with Shawnee. And there's gonna be people that see Shawnee, nah, I don't want Shawnee, and I've seen this commercial, I'm gonna go with that. So I think the more awareness, the better it is for us. But I think we're probably at least a couple years out before, I don't know. I always mentally battle. Is it a year? Is it 2 years? Is it 5 years before everybody has this technology, just like they have a website? But I think we have plenty of time in doing this. But I don't ever fear competition. I actually love finding things that are very competitive because that tells me the market is buying that type of thing. And the more awareness on that, I just need to figure out how to sell myself or my company better than that other person. And you in person, you being a human rather than an ad is going to get more people to buy. The way that you're approaching things. So I wouldn't fear that at all. Don't let it rattle you. I think that's good for us as a whole because now there's more awareness on this technology even existing. So now you might run into the scenario here soon that, oh yeah, I thought I saw something like this. Oh, I've been thinking about something like this. I think I saw a commercial. Yeah, we do that exact same thing. And we can kind of piggyback on that awareness already.
Right. Okay. That's
So,
what I was thinking. Perfect.
I would like to share. I have seen the ad from Ring Central. Ring Central, they sell communication system to the businesses. They are coming up with the Voice AI. I have seen Facebook ads on my feed. Other day, I called my medical center. It's a Shutter Health. And Voice AI picked up the phone and say it was triaging and transferring to the human. It's not trying to book any appointment or anything, but at least first initial triaging they are doing with Voice AI and they are disclosing, I am the Voice AI assistant.
Okay, so it's so you're saying Ring Central's doing that, and they're more like just trying to be a receptionist and then just pass off the call rather than do the questions.
No. Two separate things.
Okay.
Ring Central is selling the AI voice service. Voice AI reception is basically service. And other one is my medical foundation. It's quite a big medical foundation, at least in this area, Shutter Health. And they are using Voice AI for, receptionist function. Two separate case studies. Yeah.
Let's go. So Ring Central. And then can you put in the chat the other one? I want to look both of those up as far as ads go.
Yeah, let me put that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think the one that I saw was Quo, Quo. But I think when I looked it up, I think it's owned by Ring Central or something weird like that.
I'll have to check that out. And I do know also Ring Central, if that's the one, George, the company that he got this huge deal with that he's crushing right now, they use Ring Central and they had tried their AI and then still went with George for his voice AI because it was, more capable. So again, I don't ever fear competition like that, guys. I mean, I still get ads clients and ads is extremely saturated now. So I think this is one of those things, there's always going to be a way for us to carve out our piece of the pie. And then there's just such a big pie that, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Don't let it scare you.
Used to be Open Phone.
You said what?
QO is now, or Open Phone is now called QO.
Ah, okay.
I have a client that is using ZenMaid, and I'm transferring them out of QO into High Level.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, same with my dentist. I talked to her about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I loved it. It was great. She's a doctor. She's on board." But she said her patients didn't like it. And I was like, yeah, something was wrong with it. Mine, they will like. And
it's time to give your voice AI an upgrade. Yeah. So when everybody has voice AI, guess what? I'm gonna be selling an upgraded version. So
yeah, she totally disconnected it, and she was literally going on vacation the very next day. But she was like, when I come back, we're meeting because I want to get yours installed. So I was like, okay, great.
Let's go. See, and that should be all the proof right there. You ain't got to worry about these other companies.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
You got this. But yeah, do me a favor. Yeah, check on the like tonality and stuff, and then just kind of report back like if you think that had anything to do with it. That way we can kind of further triage if we need to.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Cool. All right, James. Let's get that one. And if anybody else has questions, get your hands up real quick. If not, we'll snap a picture after James, and then we'll call it a day. All right, James, what you got, brother?
So I was just curious about, I think I heard somebody say it a little bit, but I also had a phone call come through in the middle. But if we're working with somebody who doesn't own the phone system, because I got someone who I called and they're inside of a salon suite, but they don't own a suite and they have a phone system in there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, is it I started to think like, am I thinking too small by going after this person, or should I just go right after the owner and say, I'll set it up for your whole salon suite and then charge a bigger price? So I'm kind of trying to figure out how do I get around that loophole because they have a central phone, but the person I'm talking to don't control that phone system.
Well, yeah. So two things. I mean, most cases, guys, like just so everybody knows, like we don't generally forward our phone numbers to the voice AI. We'll generally forward the voice AI to the phone numbers and then just replace any digital presence with that. So sometimes like if we work with like electric companies, they have numbers on their trucks, but that doesn't even go to our AI. Like we haven't even set up the AI to forward, or sorry, their phone numbers to forward to that AI. So that's not like ever been a deal breaker for us. We just say, okay, we can control it in these places and that's where we'll set it up. So anytime, there's a digital presence, we can change that out very easily. Your Google business profile listing, we can swap that out pretty easily. So we can change those things. Now you could, the way I think is kind of how you think is like, I would maybe go to that salon suite owner and say, hey, is this a potential upgrade that we could, set up for you to then resell to your people and you can make money on this as well? Because I mean, salon suite owner, oh my gosh, like, they're selling spots and I know what it's like to run those because my wife, she comes from that world of like salons and overseeing that type of stuff. But my God, instead of having another employee, if this was just an upsell for the salon suite, dude, like that got my wheels spinning just now. Cause it's like, yeah, you can have the salon suite here. Oh, you need an AI employee that'll help be your receptionist because you're a one-man band, extra, a few $100 a month. And this guy makes another $100 per room. Oh, my God, you just increased like, oh my dude, that's a great idea.
Okay, cool. Well, then that answered that main question that I had right there.
Yeah, and then real quick on salon suites, we've found that barbers and hairstylists are very active on Instagram and like these social profiles a lot of times. So a lot of times the conversational AI and hooking that up to like their Instagram or like a Facebook has been really, really good for those. In fact, I think every barber that we've worked with, it's always been like, setting up the AI to chat through their DMs on Instagram. So that could be a way to just circumnavigate the whole voice AI with that. But I would be having that conversation with the salon suite owner about that being an upsell. My God, that could, benefit you hugely. And then that would be such a cool thing to offer to tenants that are trying to get up off the ground, don't have the manpower or the capital to invest in another person to handle that stuff for them. That's a phenomenal idea. Anybody listening, y'all should go find some salon suites. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I'm always thinking like, how do we think bigger? How do we get more for this? How do we get more revenue from less effort for something that could be duplicated easily?
Yeah.
The other thing that I was going to ask about is, well, I guess this is more so just something for people to consider because it's enough money for all of us to get some. I'd heard somebody talk about the AI videos. That's actually one of the things that my company, that's why my background is like this. And it's a lot of people who actually have these AI voices, but I still want everybody to kind of understand that because you are in something that does AI, you're going to see more AI stuff. Because I also go around and teach some of the things that I know. And I noticed that it's people who still don't know what ChatGPT is. So there's still a massive market for everybody. And I'm curious on your thoughts on this because what I started to do was I scraped the internet for like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, different places like, and I don't care, all y'all should do this too. Go scrape the internet for people who are hiring for receptionists and then just go message those people because they're already looking, they already have a budget for it.
That's genius. That is actually really genius right there. That was some sauce. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was
that could be done on like a weekly basis. I mean, like a daily basis, there's jobs like popping up like crazy like this. So, man, that was a good one. Sorry. Not a lot of times it just stops me in my tracks. That was fire.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm a thinker, man. I try to figure out how we can get stuff. So glad to add value to the community. As long as I'm still getting a lot out of it, I want to give back as much as I can as well.
Man, yeah, I appreciate that. And if you do talk to the Salon Suite owner, I mean, that's how my mind thinks. Like, I'm like path of least resistance. How do I get this in the hands of more people for the same amount of effort? I'm always like trying to find that common denominator. Salon Suite, lots of people like that. Who's the person that controls that? Oh my gosh, go to them, strike a deal. I mean, that is, and you know how many Salon Suites are out there? Like, they're popping up like crazy. Like, that's like the new business model. So
Yeah, I mean, between that and even like, well, I heard somebody talk about the real estate people, like, and being able to go to all of the agents. That same model can be applied there to all the real estate people because I also have a real estate license, and when they got like brokerage fees, that could be added on to the brokerage fees just to get them added on to the system.
we've done that with brokerages for real estate and life insurance. That's our biggest builds that we do are 2 brokerages for life insurance industries. We sell to the brokerage, and then they upcharge it to their people if they want to utilize the AI to follow up with leads and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a
Hey, quick question. What do you use, James, to scrape?
A lot of times I use, y'all can check this site out. It's called origami.chat. Origami.chat will go out there and scrape leads. It'll ask you about your ideal client. You can also use Claude, Perplexity. It's a couple of different things you can use. Just depends on how much information you want from the leads. But origami, like folding paper, .chat is a really good one. It'll pull up their domains, their LinkedIn, all that stuff like that. And then put it in a spreadsheet for you as well.
Nice. Thank you.
yeah, very cool.
Cool.
That's
Appreciate you.
All right, did I answer your questions though? And thank you for
Yeah.
sharing as well. So
Yeah,
A little-
absolutely. Appreciate you.
oh yeah.
If I could add a little addition to the scraping, you can use Claude Coworker, and you can just start telling this is what I want to do, because I use this for scraping real estate agents off of Zillow, which is they don't like you doing that. And Coworker would actually, it would see that it was being blocked, and then it would find a way around the block
Oh wow.
to go get the data that I wanted to get. So
Get Appify. Appify should be able to help you scrape the stuff without having to have too much technical infrastructure and without having to have too much technical stuff in there. It'd be able to scrape even social media sites without your stuff getting flagged.
Dang. A lot of sauce on this call. This is good. I love learning from all the questions as well. So hey, thank you, Dale, and thank you, James, for both of those. Hell yeah. All right, I got Frank, and then I got Kubra. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So let me get Frank. What you got, brother?
Hey, Jeff. Just short rundown. So we don't need CloseBot, or we don't need it at until like a certain point?
Yeah, I always recommend I start everything with GHL unless you're doing like complex builds or want to offer more complex solutions to your clients after already setting them up. Then I use GHL's AI more than I use CloseBot's.
What do you think is the biggest difference between School and Colab?
Man,
I know you're in a different position, but for somebody starting right now,
well, for somebody starting, I mean, you can definitely get by with Collab. I mean, it's just I value user experience over everything, and man, I know the people that watch my social profiles. I'm streaming right now. High Level's not gonna like my answer. I just don't feel like it's as smooth as like School. Like School, I can get up and running. It just works. The tiers and everything. It's almost effortless as far as like, you know, onboarding and charging people for things, and like that whole thing just being automated, especially if bills or payments don't go through. All that stuff just is handled. Like I don't have to worry about it. It also is easier to access, in my opinion. When we were trying to use Colab, which we tried to use it for Contour Light, we tried to use it for some other things, people were getting confused because they would go to this Colab place, and when they go to courses and then try to go back to the community, they were going into some different profile thing, and they were getting lost just within the platform. And I was like, how is this even a thing? So I think School is so simple and so smooth that I think it's worth the extra money at this point. Now I know Go High Level is feverishly trying to, you know, make sure you use only it, and rightfully so. But I just, to this day, like we are always testing everything. I don't want to pay all these extra fees, but like
do you like have to do an API into it or something like that, or to gather and nurture and lead the people that are in there, or you just work separately?
Are you talking about with School?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just work separately. So, and the one thing I like about School too is like you can just do an email blast. You can only do it every 72 hours. But when somebody downloads the School platform app, if you guys see me post, a lot of times you'll just get a notification. It'll pop up. It'll do the things like it's supposed to. And then every 72 hours, I can send a blast email through the platform and it'll go through School's domain for their email. And deliverability rate has always been higher than anything else that we've ever had. And of course, that could be due to our domain, et cetera. So we do a lot of things just manually, and then I think it's through APIs and workflows. Like Charles will connect the two somehow on the back end for like downgrading and upgrading people. Like if they're coming in and upgrading stuff like that, it'll do something in GHL. So we know in GHL if they're like premium member, standard member, et cetera. But other than that, everything is pretty much handled through School, and it's just so much more clean. Just so you guys know, like when we start anything, we typically get a pretty good sales velocity going and we grow very quickly. And when we use GHL for those types of things, a lot of times billing gets missed or like not set up properly. And it costs us more money in growing pains than it does just like using a different platform sometimes for this specifically.
Sure. On the commission aspect of it, you spoke about when you were talking to that one guy about it, like a 20% thing and just a one-time thing. Mm-hmm. I've been back and forth on just putting the software and getting other people, like, how is it not a stronger engagement for him, not even thinking about it from the perspective of the person that he's sort of hiring, mm-hmm. but the people that you're talking to that just signed up with you to be like, hey, go. And I feel like you're saying that. I'm almost confusing myself. Aren't we pushing commissions towards everybody?
Yeah. I would incentivize everybody to push people your way. Is your question like incentivize them commission wise on a monthly, like to sell the software as if it's their own? Or
yeah, because I still it might be screwed up, but when you spoke to him, you said only give him the commission on the initial
setup fee.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. That's what I prefer. Just because in the past, when I've done like the on the initial plus the monthly, I'd have like these massive spreadsheets, and this is before you could track this stuff easily. I'd have these massive spreadsheets, and then I'd get these people to where they were making a lot of money per month. I mean, I had one guy who was making like $9,000 a month. And at that point, he was not hungry anymore because he was making more than he was making in his regular job, and he stopped sending people. And then I had to cut him a check every single month. And again, he brought the business, but at the same time, he stopped selling, and we lost an acquisition source that was very heavy for us. So I learned that as bad as it sounds, unless they're like a person that's on our team that, we're paying a salary to, you have to keep commission-based salespeople hungry. And if you have a great product and they sell a lot for you and they get to a point where they're fine, they stop selling for you and you lose an acquisition source. So as bad as that sounds, you have to keep them hungry to keep selling for you, if that makes sense. But I do like to incentivize heavily on the front end. So I charge a lot. So my 20% still makes them a lot of money. They just got to keep selling to earn a lot of commission, if that makes sense.
You're definitely the expert. And so I don't mean this to argue that.
I've done it.
But where my confusion comes in, is I understand what you mean about that one person, mm-hmm. but where's your all to many, which I feel like you would profess just the same. So if you got 100 people though, incentivized to be that $9,000 guy, it sucks that you're paying him, but now you got 100 people that are like, wait, hold on a second, how about you? And they're trying harder. So I'm just trying to.
To be honest, like I think this is one of those classic scenarios. I don't know if you remember the commercials, like there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. Like I think either way could be right. I just think I had such past traumatic experiences with doing it the wrong way and over incentivizing people that always ended up crashing for me when I did like the pay them on the monthly. And it also crippled our cash flow. Is if we could just incentivize people very heavily, charge substantial. And one of the reasons I started charging more is so I could afford to give a higher referral commission. We would never charge as much as we did and knew that we could stretch it as far as we could if we weren't offering those. So it created a better ecosystem for us. And it wasn't just one, like it got messy with a medical device supplier or distributor, like extremely messy. It got messy with another doctor that closed his clinic and ended up like working with us. It got messy with him. So I was like, okay, if we give percentages to people, they feel very entitled and then they get comfortable. So one of two things happened. They either got comfortable and stopped selling, or they felt entitled to decisions and they felt like they were a true partner. And again, that could have been due to me being young and not setting clear boundaries, which we're all about boundaries and, transparency now. So it just was more of a headache. And I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. Now, I will tell you, on the flip side, because of school, though, we are going to be testing something just like we test with the group here, and giving a recurring percentage of a new community thing that we're going to be doing, and giving like a 40% so people can sell it as their own. And then we're going to be incentivizing different like YouTube influencers and stuff to push people our way. So I might have better data and I might change my tune on that, but I've just had more bad experiences with offering a recurring commission versus just a substantial one-time commission. In my experience, it was just.
I love the feedback, and then that's the thing. I've been going back and forth mentally for so long that I'm like, I keep seeing it both ways, exactly how you're saying. Yeah. And the only thing I have in my head at this moment, and then on my last question, is the fact that I think maybe I'm going to go with letting them get it for like 6 months or something, which still gives them money and still gives them hungry and more than it just happened once. I still want it in their head every time they get that money hit. So maybe not forever, but maybe for a shorter time.
I would encourage, and this is just due to my past experience, I would encourage getting away from the 6 months or like a finite amount of time and just doing a heavier one time. Because like I'm telling you, like I don't think anything was as motivating to our people that were selling for us as that one time hit versus like a trickle over 6 months. The other thing is I had all these crazy complex spreadsheets, and it got into a scenario where, and again, these people might see this on this Facebook. There's a scenario where these people, we were sending them so much business, and then we were crediting it also toward like what we were running for them, but they were basically trying to double dip, and they felt more entitled to what we were doing, and it got less clear. And they're like, oh, well, you owe us this much money from this person or for this amount of time for this person. And they're like, all right, we're going to stop sending you business. I'm like, we've been running this for you guys. You actually been running up a higher bill with us, and you actually owe us money. And as soon as we did that, they started promoting all the business to somewhere else. Like they had a little too much power, and we got down to 4 clients. Like after building $1 million agency, we got down to 4 clients, and I had to like fight and claw back to like build another agency. We ended up putting that company out of business, but it just, I feel like it just gave them too much power, and it crippled my cash flow to where I was like almost at the mercy of these people because I paid them a lot to get started. My team was doing all the work, and I had to build out this infrastructure, account managers, and there was just a lot on the back end that like, oh my God, I have to write this check to this person that just keeps asking for more, is telling me we're not tracking this stuff properly. It was just such a mess on like every angle. And again, this is, 2019, 2020, like I just got in the marketing space. So it could be like not knowing the game well enough, but dude, it was just some of my worst times in my life.
I could not agree with you more.
Was because of that stuff.
Jeff, I could not agree with you more. 100% do not give them monthly recurring revenue. And you can't take it away. They'll just quit. They'll lose their morale. Like salespeople are a certain breed. They have to stay hungry. They have to stay like after chasing the carrot, and if you just give them the full meal, like they're not gonna perform. They're gonna just get super comfortable. I was a corporate sales trainer for 10 years. I would not do a monthly recurring for salespeople. It's just not necessary.
No,
and if they're really good sales, they'll just go for it every month,
Yeah, and it's I'm telling you, like Frank, it doesn't hurt now, but like we got to like 100 clients and then paying somebody $20,000 a month that stopped sending business to us and then started going to the highest bidder.
All of it. I don't disagree with you. That's why it's good to talk it out like this. The last one was what you had already said about the A2P, or what I guess in my mind is A2P. When you're talking about like a salon suite or something, just because I've been setting up a lot of people with A2P on my different accounts, but you just said it in a different way. Not specifically A2P, but like if you were to deal with someone that's already in a phone system, you're not necessarily having to set them up on A2P or set up their phone number. You're setting up the AI to. You just explained it to somebody.
Well, roughly. So if I think it was James was talking about the. He's got a potential client at a salon suite. Oh, later, Lisa. Got a potential client at a salon suite, and she doesn't control the phone system. I think it's provided by, like, let's just say the landlord. Yeah. So in that scenario, you would have to set up A2P, but it'd probably be for that landlord and their phone service. And then they probably have a number that they're giving to that person. So a little bit, I wouldn't say compliance would be such an issue with like a salon suite in most instances with just an AI receptionist, but you'd probably just have to set it up once. Well, I guess you'd have to set it up once in different sub accounts, I would guess. there would be some complexity to that, but
More so based on just the business that already has the phone number.
yeah.
We're like already's been in business for 5, 10 years, 20 years, and they're using that phone number. Do we take the time to get them to over to A2P, or do we do it in some other way that I felt like you were explaining?
Well, no. So I don't think I was talking about A2P in particular, but it sounds like it would probably just have to be set up for that one initial, like the landlord and those phone lines, and then disposition to whoever was using that suite or that phone number. But it should just be like a one-off thing where you're setting it up for them and then just multiple sub accounts. But we were just saying, just go and sell to the landlord in particular and say, hey, Frank, you got the salon suite with 20 units. As an upsell, you could maybe offer this to your people. We'll charge you a one-time setup fee to set it up for you. And then if you want to offer it, it's X amount per month. Charge whatever on top of that you want. And it could be an upsell to sell to your people and increase your revenue per unit.
I got all that, and that's genius, and that's awesome.
Sorry, what's the part
it
I'm
was
missing?
about? It was about the phone number part, and them having the phone number for so long, or that phone system set up. Like we have to port that into GHL. I felt like you spoke of it as if you didn't.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So typically we don't forward their existing phone numbers into GHL. Most times we just change their digital presence wherever it's easy to just swap the phone number, and then we'll forward our lead connector phone number or whatever phone number is in high level to that number. So everything rings to that phone still. But we just change the front facing phone number where it's easy to change. Like anything that's physical collateral, like window signs or, billboards or trucks and stuff like that, a lot harder to change. We'll just use the phone number for digital presence and typically just on ads. If we're running ads, we'll change that phone number to be the AI one. But you can go and forward the stuff. We just don't generally do that because it's a lot of extra work. We just haven't had to do it. Our clients haven't been hard pressed on that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sorry, hopefully that answered your questions.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's see here. I got Kubra. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah, it's correct. Hi, Jeff. This is my second day in the community. I just joined yesterday.
Welcome. Yeah, I saw you join last night, right?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I have a question for the demo. So I created my voice agent in the GHL, and so there's a one client, and he's interested with the, how to see the AI voice agent chatbot. But my question is, how can I make demo?
Well, so have you seen the demo on demand yet?
No. In the classroom?
Yeah, here, let me grab that for you. I'll grab the link directly to it. So that is how I do all my demos, because it can do voice or it can do chat. So whichever one you want to do. Let me see here. Members. Oh, here, let me actually I need to unlock it for you. That's probably why you haven't seen it. There we go. Okay, if you refresh, you should be able to see this now, but let me grab the link for you specifically.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Hang on, I lost Zoom, guys. There we go. Okay, here's the link. Grab that link, see if you can see that in the classroom section.
Yeah, your demo. Yeah, I see now. It's
Okay,
open.
so there's a link at the bottom though. That is the specific snapshot link for that.
Mhm.
When you set that up, let me find the link to show you where. This is how I demo it. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen here. Give me a second, guys. Okay, that'll show you how to here. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so once you set that up, there's a GHL form right here this is how you demo it. So essentially, when I hop on a sales call, I'll ask the questions from the client conversion script, which is in the Client Closers Toolkit, but they'll tell me, what their qualifying questions are when they're talking to a lead. I'll punch them into the demo right here, and then I essentially just grab their phone number, and then I click the send text button, and then they'll get a message saying, hey, call this number, or this number is going to call you, or text this number. And then the demo will start, because you can select up here, do you want to do voice AI or do you want to do SMS? And you can literally demo it in any industry, to any business, just by filling out a few things on this form. So that way you give a really hyper personalized demo to them. But this is what I use for all my demos.
Can I choose my AI voice agent through that link? that I already created?
Well, if you want to give one that you already created, I would just set that up to its own phone number and enable that one, and then I would have them just call that phone number. Like if you already have one that's created specifically.
Yes, I created one.
Okay. Do you have a phone number in A2P already set up in your account?
A2P, I think I didn't set up.
Okay. Let me give me a second here. Okay, but you already have the agent set up.
Agent setup? Yes, my agent is ready.
Okay, give me a second. Let me see here. And real quick, just so you know, Kubra, so I typically do more of the sales stuff. My partner Charles does more of the tech stuff, but give me a second and let me see if I can pull this up so I can walk you through it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So before, as we discuss regarding for the MRR, and what do you think I shouldn't ask for the monthly retainer, maybe one-time fee, let's say 3 months for 2000K? What do you think?
Well, no. So I would, if you're selling it to a business, I would charge a setup fee and then I would charge a monthly retainer on top of that. So when we were talking a moment ago, we were just talking about if you were hiring a salesperson, not to give them like a commission each month from selling it, just give them commission from the initial setup fee. But if you're selling it to a business, yeah, we absolutely charge a setup fee and then we charge a monthly recurring to keep it running. So that way we're making money monthly from it. And then of course it's incurring costs that they'd be paying to, run the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make sense?
Yeah. He's real estate agent. Actually, he earned a lot of money. So it's better to do monthly retainer or
for sure. So typically with real estate agents that we work with, we'll charge anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 to set it up. And then anywhere from $397 to $697 to keep it running. And again, the only difference is like what level of real estate person that we're working with. If they're higher on the totem pole selling commercial, or they're doing high volume residential, then we'll charge typically a little bit more because they got a lot more traffic coming in. If it's somebody just starting out or not doing a lot of volume, that's when we'll charge like the lower setup fee and like the lower monthly. But we've been able to command anywhere from, like I said, $2,500 to $5,000 just to set it up, and then anywhere from $397 to $697 a month to keep that thing going. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And then as far as real quick, anybody that set up AI voice, she's going to have A2P set up to do this demo. Is that correct? Let's see.
I think voice you can do without it.
A voice you can do without A2P?
Yeah, voice you can do without, but if you want to do the text, then you have to have the A2P set up.
Okay, and then Kubra, you're showing them a voice demo for this?
Yes.
For the voice AI? Okay. All right, let's see here. Do you already have a phone number in your sub account?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see here. Let me go to my account where I got some agents so I can see if I can assign this real quick. Agents. All right, voice AI, agent list. Okay. Phone number. Sorry, I'm just trying to do it on my end here so I can, because really all we got to do is get this connected to a phone number if your agent's already set up. And then when the person calls that phone number, it should go through the demo just fine if you already have that set up.
Okay, maybe I have to make sure the AI voice agent is inbound, and I will give the phone number, then the person will call. That's it, right?
Correct, yeah. If your agent's already set up, then that's essentially all that's needed to happen is just connecting it to a phone number. So that way when they call, it takes over and it answers that phone call and goes through your qualification questions.
Yeah, but what other than this, what can I show as a voice agent features? Is there something that we can show as a, just to explain?
Well, so typically, just so you know how I run demos, I do all my demos the exact same. I'll go through the Client Closers Toolkit, like the scripts here, and I'm gonna put a link in the chat just in case you haven't seen it yet, because I know you've only been here for a day or so. Grab that link I just put in the chat. So what I'll do is I'll use these scripts, and here, I'll share the screen here. Client conversion script. I'll run every call or every demo just like this. I want to make sure I get them on a call first off. So I'll set expectations with them. But then I just want to ask about their business, because what I really want to do here is expose the holes in their business that I can help them fill with this AI. So I'm just, what kind of volume? What are you doing for marketing? How many people are actually, turning into, actually buy homes or whatnot. And then from here, like once I go through these questions, I'll say, okay, based on what you're telling me, I think this, our voice AI is going to be a great, thing for you. It's going to be exactly what you need. And then I'll go into showing them a demo, and then I'll just have them call and do a demo and just say, hey, talk to this like it's somebody calling you, and go through that process. And then I'll let them play with it. And then as soon as they're done, I'll say, hey, that's pretty cool, huh? And that's only after, a few minutes of talking to you. Imagine once we've trained it on your business. And then I go right into, pitching the price on that. So like, I don't really get into like the different features unless they're asking, can it do this? And of course, if it can, I'll say, yeah, we can absolutely do that for you.
Okay,
So I kind of steer the conversation the way I wanted to go. I just want to expose problem in business, fix, show them how I can fix it with our AI, give them a demo, and then quote price. And then from there, kind of see how they're feeling about that. And then if there's objections I need to overcome, then I'll do that on the call. But I don't go into like a bunch of features or anything like that.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much, Jeff. It will be very helpful.
No problem. And definitely check out this video if you have time before that demo, because that'll show you exactly how I run the demos. If you do them like that, they should go very smoothly for you.
Hey, Jeff, Charles also actually has a separate video on how to use a demo on demand without the text. So that would help.
If you don't have A2P?
Yeah, you change the workflows and you can do it without A2P.
Okay, and I think that one is in that, how to demo without A2P. So in Kuber, just so you know, that'll be in that demo on demand link, which if you already have your own agent, you may not need the demo on demand. But I would at least check out that Client Closers toolkit, that script I just sent you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, let's see here. All right, I think that is all questions. So let's go ahead, and if you guys want to throw cameras on real quick, we'll snap a quick pic for anybody that wants to, and that way.
I have a question.
Oh, what you got?
Okay, my question is, I'm hearing the argument for not paying recurring commission per month. I understand the logic behind it, but at the same time, GHL doesn't have any sales team, and they're growing with affiliate, and they're paying. As long as you are with them lifetime, you are getting commission with affiliate. So what are the pros and cons of to approach?
Pros and cons. First off, GHL's typically not charging like a high ticket setup fee in the front end, which we would typically be charging if we're selling to a business, which gives you a lot of margin that you can then use as commission for incentive. So that's a big exciting factor for a salesperson. Now, the thing that I ran into, and mind you, like this is coming from, we've done, I think close to 5 million with our agency, which is not the biggest agency in the world, but also not a small agency. What we did though, is we grew to $1 million agency in 6 months. And I did this both ways, by the way. So like this comes from like, not just like one-off little scenarios. Like this cost me a lot of money to learn these lessons. When I was giving the monthly recurring, a lot of times what people don't factor in is like, growth at scale is a lot more expensive than growth when first starting out. And when I was first starting out and I was offering these incentives to, give somebody commission from the setup plus monthly recurring, sounded great in theory until we hit that wall of like, we exhausted a lot of these people's like networks and like all these people coming to us from these referrals. And then we had to go and start advertising different ways. I either had to pay to, woo some manufacturers, or I had to pay and start get ads going, stuff like that. And when you're giving 20, 30%, that doesn't sound like a lot, but with 100, 200 clients, which again, not everybody's going to go to that size. But when you get bigger and you got to have account managers, and then you got to invest in new softwares, and then you got to have money for ad spend, you are literally lighting your cash flow on fire. And it becomes one of those things, we don't have the budget to, do everything that we want to do and give the best possible customer service or the best possible service to clients. And that's what we ran into when we were doing that. On top of when we were giving people all this, they got to a point of stagnation to where either they exhausted their list and they had nobody else and we continued paying them. And when it got messy is if, we say, oh, we're paying for a finite amount of time. And they're like, oh, but this person, they signed up for this package, or they signed up in January and all this stuff. They start shopping around the competitors. So as soon as we, as soon as they got everything they could from us, they started going to the competitors and trying to sell for those people too. And it just created this crazy, terrible ecosystem that almost bankrupted us, if I'm being frank. And we had to come back from that. So I learned to keep the salespeople hungry, like really hungry, unless they're part of our team. So again, I will never do the monthly recurring because it'll cripple your cash flow. And cash flow is everything when you start trying to grow at scale. So that's my argument with it. But again, I'll always tell you, like, there is no wrong way to eat a Reese's. It's whatever works for you. That's just been my experience. And it was a very terrible one that I had to learn. It cost me a lot of stress over my life. And as soon as I learned to not give monthly recurring commissions, it seemed like everything got a lot better.
So thank you so much for your explanation. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no
My
problem.
now question is, since I'm just starting out, will
Uh-huh.
it be better, because I am pitching that, you earn for life as long as client stays.
Uh-huh.
Should I continue for at least some amount of clients I onboard first, go through the experience, servicing them, and then change the affiliate policy?
Again, there's no right or wrong way with that. I'll tell you what will happen though, is you could certainly do that to try to experience faster growth in the beginning. The only problem is when you run into changing that policy, which again, it won't be an issue if you only have like a few people that are, doing that.
Mhm.
But if you go to them later and you change that policy, they will get upset. I promise you, it's never a
No,
smooth
I'll
conversation.
I'll not change for them. I'll not
Okay,
change
okay.
for them. But if I onboard any more affiliate, I'll change for them.
Yeah, well, so if you're doing that now and it's working, again, always do what's working. I just wouldn't do it forever. Like if that's working
Oh,
for you
yeah,
to get
okay.
off the ground, absolutely. But I would pivot as fast as I could to that other model after I was comfortable and like, if that's a certain dollar amount per month that I need to be earning, and then I change my policy, then that's what I would do. And I would get away from that as quickly as possible because there will be a point where that cripples your growth, I promise you. But in the beginning, it might be the catalyst that helps you grow. So if you're doing that
Yeah.
currently, do it up until that point that you're comfortable.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, real quick. James, did you have another question? I just forgot to put the hand down.
Yeah, I think it should be relatively quick.
Okay.
And I appreciate your time because you was on here for a long time, so I appreciate this.
No problem. No problem.
I'm trying to really conceptualize the thing that you're saying about the people who when you're not forwarding the phones, because it's like a loop there that I'm not getting, and I'm trying to like map it out in my head. Like you're saying that if they've had a number for a long period of time, we could change the digital footprint, which is easy, like websites, things like that. If it's something like the billboards, cars, to like just leave that where it's at. I'm trying to figure out how does this get routed to the actual voice agent, because I always thought that we were just forwarding their number to our stuff. So how is that working?
Well, so again, most of our clients, and just to preface this might make it make more sense. All of our clients came from initially ads. So like they were very heavy on the digital footprint side anyways, like paying for acquisition. So either Google, Facebook. And so it's easy to swap out their digital phone number that way. And then we could just use the lead connector phone number, then forward that phone number to their main phone number. If you're working with a business that primarily is like, established in the community for X amount of years, all their stuff is from TV, from billboards, stuff like that, that'd probably be an instance where you'd want to actually forward their phone number to the AI. So that way, wherever people are seeing this company or this business, it's going. Our clients haven't necessarily cared about that because most of their traffic is being driven through paid acquisition anyways. So it hasn't been a conversation that's been very pressing for them. And it's extra work for us. So unless it's like an absolute necessity, we typically don't do it. As bad as that sounds, we just do the bare minimum that will drive results for our client unless they're experiencing something that's holding them back. Does that make sense?
I believe so. So it's pretty much based upon a client base. So I was thinking about like dental offices and things like that. If they're getting a majority of their clients from an online source, then just go ahead and change the number there on the online sources, pass it over, and don't worry about it. If it's somebody who's been kind of established, then kind of figure out what that might have to look like. But typically, we're going towards people who are more on the digital side. So it's either just change the number and make the changes.
Correct. Yeah. And then Sandy's saying if they're doing SEO, let's see here, or GMB, don't change their number. So I'm guessing maybe that has a negative impact if you're doing it that way. But yeah, so we'll change it on like all the lead acquisition areas, like where paid traffic is typically happening. So, and again, 95% of our clients, with the exception of like probably the ones this year, came from us running their ads first, or they were paying for acquisition. So it's very easy to swap out on the funnels and stuff like that for that. let's see, forward missed calls to the AI. So I was trying to keep up with the chat here. But yeah, so it's never been like a big pressing issue for us or a make or break for a client. They're always fine with like us just using it on the paid acquisition channels and then keeping their other phone number for other. But there are a lot of people in the community that will forward that phone number to the AI.
Okay. Okay. And then if we have to do that, do you know how we're supposed to do that? I know it kind of depends on what system they're using. And then
Yeah, search in the group, search call forwarding. I know there's like a whole big thread on this because there's quite a few people in here that do it, and it is contingent on the different companies that they're using, but it's not a super hard process. Some make it harder than others, but it is possible with most of the phone companies out there.
Okay.
I know with Verizon, there's just a simple like star process.
Yeah. And a few of them are like that too. Some of them you do have to call in and they have to like help you set up the forwarding rules and stuff like that. But it's not crazy. But the only time we ever tried to do it was a client that did not have like the person assigned to their account that could actually do it. So we're just like, okay, we're not messing with this unless we have to.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Oh, and then Alan says there's now a GHL help doc on phone forwarding as well.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, Alan, link that in the community if you can, please. That'd be great. And again,
can I share my 2 cents?
Please, yeah.
Real quick. Be careful. If they have a Google Business Profile set up or what have you, don't go in and change their number to a new number. You can get their Google Business Profile suspended if you go in making changes and things. What you'd want to do is keep that number the same, and then have, if someone calls and they don't pick up, have the AI then pick up. So forward any missed calls to their AI. If you go in messing with their online presence of an established number, you can do more damage and start getting things messed up. For new ads and things like that, if you're running Facebook ads or whatever, use whatever number you feel like using. It doesn't have to be their established phone number, but on their online presence, their website, especially their Google Business Profile.
Okay, stay away from changing that one in particular.
Yeah, because then they'll ask for re-verification, like you switched something up and cause a big problem, and then you got it.
Definitely don't want that.
It becomes a mess. So for those who don't know, don't do that.
No, yeah, thank you for that. And then real quick, also thank you, Alan, on there's the help doc from Go High Level in there as well. And then I'll link that in the community, and I'll credit you, Alan, for posting that. Sandy, I'll also probably mention something about what you just said and make sure everybody's aware of that as well.
Solid.
Yeah, because they'd have to go through re-verification in some cases, or they might shut down the Google Business Profile altogether and make them go through a whole reinstatement process.
Dang, yeah, we definitely don't want that. Oh, that would be a mess. So I know you just saved somebody on here from some headaches for sure. All right, James, I know that was a lot of different information, but did that answer your question?
Yep, sure did. Gave me everything I needed.
Okay, cool. All right, real quick, last call for questions. If not, let's pop on cameras. Let's grab this picture real quick so that way it can go with the replay. So you got about 10 seconds to get the cameras on. If you're brand new, we generally do like a normal, thumbs up, peace sign, smiling, class photo type of thing. And then like on the second photo, we'll make like the craziest face you can think of. And we'll
one more question over there.
Okay, hang on. Let's get the picture real quick and then I'll get the question. Cool. All right, so real quick, 3, 2, 1. All right, now make a crazy face, guys. Like, hell yeah. All right, that's going to be our little thumbnail for the replay. So the replay will be up later today for those that are new. Also, welcome to everybody that's new on this question here. Steven, let me get your question answered. And then if anybody else has any more, we're...
Okay. So I missed last Monday, and it based on the conversation today, you guys must have talked about putting a comment in your referral feed, and that was like a last Monday type thing, seems like. But just curious if you're not going to pay a residual, which I fully understand. Is there some sort of a formula where you would base the amount that you would pay for referral upfront? So like 3 months worth of 20%, or I mean, is there some number that you would recommend to incentivize someone to go out and do this a lot? as opposed to like I'll give you $100 for every lead that you bring me or everybody that closes? Or I mean, what is there a number?
Well, yeah. So roughly, what I'll do is I like to give a referral that's at least. I like to give a free referral that's at least $1,000. So, and I know that sounds like a lot, but I bake it into my prices. So, like when I learned this was, I was starting my agency. I was charging $1,500, or then I got to $2,500, and I started asking for referrals. And I asked Dr. Hoover, I was like, "Hey, who else do you know that has like the system we can do this exact same thing for?" I was like, "Send them my way, and I'll give you $1,000." And I was just gonna, off the first month. I didn't have a setup fee at that time. And then he sent me somebody, and the first call I got, it was like 6 minutes long, and I closed this guy at $2,500 a month. And I'm like, dude, what the hell just happened? Like, this referral was the easiest thing ever to close. So I call him back. I'm like, yo, send me more of those. I was like, I got $1,000 for every person you send me. You send me one, I got 1,000. You send me 10, I got $10,000 for you. I'll PayPal you. I don't care how you want it. I'll send it to you. And he sent me like 240 people throughout the course of a year. I sent him $242,000 in a year's time, which is insane. But I was like, dude, this like incentivizes people like crazy. And I was like, these calls are so easy to close. Let me just see if I can raise my price. So I raised my price to $3,500 a month. So I then pay Dr. Hoover $1,000 and still make my $2,500 even on that first month. And it started working. And then I realized every time I told somebody that same story, I was like, hey, Steven, send me somebody, I'll send you $1,000. You send me 10, I'll send you $10,000. You want PayPal, cash, however you want it, I'll send it to you that way. And they started listening and started sending people like crazy. So I like to personally send $1,000 for referral for this type of service, and I'll bake that into my price. So if I was previously charging $2,000, I'll charge $3,000 and ask for the referral because it's more likely they're going to close anyway. So I just like to charge at least.
How do you make that work with the first month free thing and no setup, waiving the setup fee?
So I'm not asking for referrals. When we do that, I'm going after businesses that we're reaching out to, like on like Looms or like cold calls or like our ads. But if you were to send me somebody, like I'm not preemptively telling you like, hey, we're going to do a trial and stuff like that. Like they're typically knowing like the price. Like, hey, if they come to me, they'll pay the setup, they'll get set up. And as long as they move forward and pay, then we'll pay you. So we generally won't offer like a free trial to somebody that's coming from a referral.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, if you can add a comma, like comma clients, but if you can add a comma in your referral or commission, I mean, we built $1 million agency in 6 months because I was offering $1,000 for referral commission. Like there's no other way that I would have built it that fast if I wasn't incentivizing people like crazy. I mean, it was like a whole I bought a guy a golf cart once because I owed him like $8,000. So I bought him a golf cart for his Florida home. So, I mean, it was crazy. They start listening very well when you have a comma in the referral fee.
Another great session, man. Thanks.
I appreciate you. All right, guys and gals, that's all I got for today. So let's see here. So if you guys have questions, drop them in the community. Of course, we got some rock stars in there answering questions all hours of the day. Shout out to all the new peeps on here. I'm excited for everybody to crush it this year. This coming Monday, I probably won't be on this coming Monday because I will be traveling. I got that private mastermind with Alex Hormozy, Sam Ovens that was supposed to be in January because we won the school games, but they rescheduled it to April for me. So my wife and I will be traveling, but we will still have a call on Monday. So we're not missing a call, but we'll be rocking and rolling. So if you guys need anything, I'll find you in the community. If not, crush it and report back the wins. We love hearing this stuff. So all I got, guys. I will see y'all later. Let's kill it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, thank y'all. Let's get it. Hey, James, shout out you, man. You're the one I see on the camera here. Dropping so much sauce on here. Everybody else too. Sandy, Alan, everybody. So appreciate all of y'all.
Appreciate
you. Let's go. See y'all.